Hello, I'm Ben.
Hello, I'm Jamie.
Hello, I'm Mark, and it's time for another episode of Through the Garden Gate. Instagram. It's 7:30. It's Tuesday night. It's time for another episode of Through the Garden Gate.
Jamie,
Good evening.
you're outside.
Yes. No hat, no scarf, no coat.
I'm in a t-shirt. Check that out.
Exactly, I know. I haven't braved it that much, but unbelievable, isn't it?
Bit different to Sunday.
Crack on without me. Ben's, are you busy, Ben? Ben's busy.
I've invited him. See if he pops in or not.
No.
He's probably trying to find a hole in his greenhouse.
He's got nowhere to sit. It won't be long. He'll be able to get some of that out within the next week or so, surely.
You'd hope so.
God.
Get some hole games or something.
Yeah, definitely.
Not without.
My greenhouse is exactly the same. Well, everybody's is in a minute now, isn't it? We're just waiting for those last few days.
Yeah, I've kicked loads out of work into the cold frame today, but it's still absolutely rammed in there.
Yeah. But my so-called last frost date is today. But I still don't know whether I might just give it another week.
Always.
Just in case. I noticed earlier I was in the allotment, and I think the tops of my potatoes have got frosted. There's that much were coming out the top, and I think there's some of them are brown. Do you reckon they'll be all right?
Yeah, they'll just put on new because the tubers will be again.
Yeah. I just didn't think that frost. Obviously, that frost when I had the sheet ice out there a week and a half ago, whenever it was. Just did not think about the potatoes, and I knew they were coming through, but hopefully they'll be all right.
I'm sure they'll be fine.
Yeah, they will. They will.
Through eventually. Now it's warm. They'll be flying.
They'll fly away now. Everything's just this last 3 or 4 days in the greenhouse has just gone. Whoosh. All the beans and peas or everything have just gone mad. Absolutely mad.
George said hi.
Is George on there? What's George's name?
On there is Steph.
Oh,
so
Steph's one. Oh, hi, George. What have you been up to at work then, Mark?
Sticking up flagpoles.
What's that all about? Is that for when I'm going on holiday? When I'm not in the country, you're going to put the flag up?
Yeah, flag up. No, it's road mower. So my boss didn't want it on the house. So he said put it on a pole in the garden because you've got to have like a base station to get the satellite data to the mower. But it's got to be on a 5-metre pole.
Bloody hell.
So, yeah, that's what I've been doing today. Down the back of a hedge.
My mate's got one. He's had one for years. It's a Bosch one. It's quite big. Yeah. But he can't do nothing on his phone, nothing like that. That just does itself.
Well, it'll all be wires, whereas now you don't need to put wires in.
Oh, so you can put like a geofence thing around it. Yeah, so he's got a wire it dug in his lawn all the way around.
Yeah, you don't have to do that now.
Oh my God.
So it just does it all via GPS.
Yeah.
Mapped out. And then if you ever change the edge or want to take out beds or put beds in, you just add it. You don't.
Oh, bloody brilliant.
Wires or anything.
That sounds amazing.
Yeah. So once it's set, you should just go and save me lots of hassle.
And because it does it constantly, it keeps the cuttings really short, doesn't it?
Yeah.
So that just mulches away and disappears.
Yeah, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
Yeah.
It's just little and often. Yeah. Wherever it needs to, it'll just keep going. So your lawn always looks like somebody's just cut it.
No stripes though.
Hair in the middle of the lawn, and then it'll just avoid that patch and a really long bit.
That's it. Has it got like a radar on it to see if it bumps into things, or is it just bump and then turn around?
Well, it's like it bumps and then turn around.
Yeah.
So you have like the GPS perimeter, which should stop it.
Yeah.
But then, you know, if you put a chair in the middle of the lawn, it'll just bump into it and know there's something there and go somewhere else.
Yeah. Yeah.
But we'll see.
Oh, I can't wait to see that then. When's the actual mower coming?
Hopefully in the next couple of weeks. Once I'll put the actual thing on top of the pole tomorrow, and then I'll get in contact with the dealership, and they'll come out and drive it around. Basically,
bloody hell.
Put the little garage in and stuff.
Yeah.
Which I'm hoping to hide under a hedge, so you don't actually see that either, because they're quite big.
Yeah, but Nathan's one is just like a base station thing, and it just drives over it and docks itself, charges up, obviously, and then just goes off again.
Yeah, so it's just on the outside socket.
Yeah.
And then it just...
Yeah. Oh.
Surprised they haven't got solar-powered ones that just charge themselves up with the sunshine.
You would have thought they would, wouldn't they? Yeah.
That's the next stage of evolution.
Mm. See if Leanne's here. Have you seen her?
Not sure.
I haven't seen her. Let's get her in. Hope Ben's all right.
Yeah, he's not there now.
He definitely came in and said, "Start without me."
Yeah, Leanne's there. I'll do an intro and get her in. So, tonight's guest is an allotmenteer, a mum, a wife, a spectacle wearer, a Mr. McGregor impersonator, a garden designer who is doing a beautiful border for Gardeners World Live this year, an RHS student, most importantly a gardener, a nutty dog owner, and a woman whose name begins with L. It is, of course, Leanne, my little patch of earth.
Evening, chaps.
Hello.
Oh, hello.
Look at you out in the garden as well.
I know, isn't it exciting? Now,
it's amazing.
I'm hoping the signal holds. I'm really sorry if it doesn't, and I've got backup. But hopefully it's usually quite good.
It seems all right.
Good. It's very busy down here tonight because the sun's out, and then everybody's come down to the allotment. So you might get some people interrupting, going, "Hi."
That's all right.
Because I don't usually talk down the allotment. I usually have my headphones on and ignore people.
So you, Leanne, are our first actual plot tour this year.
It's exciting, isn't it?
Yeah.
Goodness, pressure.
That's what we were originally, to have a wander around the garden, but we forgot about the winter.
Yeah. Well, it's been nice though over the winter, just to get to. It's more chat, isn't it? So you get to know all the ins and outs of
exactly
what people do and stuff. So I've loved over the winter.
So we can have a wander around your plot, and then we can have a chat afterwards, shall we?
Yeah, absolutely. It's not going to take long because I'm busy, like I said earlier, and I've got other things going on. But we'll have a whistle-stop tour, so I'm going to just turn you around.
I don't know what you got going on.
Not a lot. You can probably hear a really busy road. So I am sort of the first plot on the site. So this is my first. I'm going to try and do the finger thing. This was my first little plot here, which we got in 2021. And it's a little starter plot, really. We were very lucky because when I initially applied, they'd just got rid of all of the plots on site. But this here was just a dumping ground. So it had carpet on, it had a skip on. And they cleared it and they said, actually, it's not great. It's not ready to go, but you're more than welcome to it. So I snapped it up, and that is the first little patch that we had, which is about... it's about 3 by 7 inch.
So what's that? Probably about a quarter of a plot or something?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah. And we did loads on the first year. It was absolutely amazing, and it's not really changed much since then, really. So it's now become more of the cut flower patch, whereas the first year we did a bit of everything. But there's a whole mixture of things, and everybody sits on that bench because that's where the entrance is. So everybody usually just plonks themselves down there and has a 5-minute chat.
Yeah.
So that's the first little plot, and there's just loads of randomness. I'm not sure what's coming back and what's not at the moment. So but yeah, with Steve.
Okay,
Oh,
Ben, no
hope you're
problem, mate.
okay.
Sorry, Leanne, just speaking to Ben. Ben's
all
got
right.
problems, he can't get on.
That's okay, bless him. Lots going on for everybody, isn't there?
Well, so you
yeah,
mean
that was
everybody who's on your allotment site come and have a sit on your bench and have a look over your garden?
Yeah. They usually just sit there and have a chat, which is fine, and it's lovely that they do that. So it's all good. And then we didn't have this bit. So this bit, it was our plot neighbours. So this bit here wasn't ours for a good couple of years. I'll come back to that in a minute. And then after we had that first plot for a year, and then after a year we had number 3 plot. So the first plot's number 1 on site, and this is number 3 plot. We were very lucky because it already had all the beds in pretty much. Not quite as it is now, but it wasn't bad when we took it on. A couple of families had it before that thought it would be good, and then I think their children got to sort of teenage years and they couldn't keep it on, or didn't want to keep it on anymore. So we snapped that up, and this was our second plot, which is kind of the main hub. It's got all the workings of the compost bins and cold frame, and had a big fire pit here, which we've just covered in this year because we're not allowed a pond on site, which is unfortunate, but otherwise we'd have just put a pond in there. So we've filled it all in, and that'll be.
You can't have a pond, but you can have a fire.
Yes, exactly. But the fire rules are quite strict. There is times and places that you can have fire. Like any allotment site, there's lots of rules and regulations. However, I must say our allotment committee are amazing. So I'm very fortunate that way, because you do hear of others that aren't.
Oh, you do, definitely.
Yes, yeah. So this was our second plot, and it's the one that's kind of most ready and got most things in, really. Like I said, we haven't really done too much because there's other bits going on, but we've got our rhubarb and our raspberries. We have got some carrots already in, and I'm glad you've done your carrots today, Jamie.
I have.
So that's
first row, yeah.
But our soil is really, really heavy clay and quite stony, so that's why we do it in these sort of these are just old recycling tubs.
Yeah.
That mean we can mix in lots of sand with them. So that worked last year, because I'd battled for a couple of years and had no luck with carrots, but that worked last year. And we just mix it up, really. So broad beans and bits and pieces. The arch that we had was here last year, but it was a Wilco special and lasted a couple of years, but then in the wind that was blown down, and we haven't replaced it yet, but I do want an arch somewhere, but it's just where we put it.
You can't beat an arch. Did you have your squashes and things up it?
So we did our tromboncinos, our squashes. Last year we did a chocha up it as well. A bit of a mixture of everything. So it's missed, and I've got snake beans this year, so I'm going to need an arch to grow those up.
Oh yeah. Marc, just take over for 2 seconds. I just got to pop my tea, so we've got something going on. 2 seconds. Sorry, Leanne. I'll be back.
That's all right. Don't worry.
Yay, Marc.
So lots of potatoes, just because we needed to fill the ground, really. So we've got a huge amount that we're going to be giving away to absolutely everybody. That's a lot of the ground cover in this one. And I know you like a chocha, Marc, and this is what we've used for a couple of years, and it works really well. And it's just a couple of old fence panels put together, because they they grow lots, but they spread a lot as well. So that's worked well for us. So hoping that works again, and we'll do the chocha at that as well this year. And then we've got the cut flower patch. So this is all dahlias, which are all beginning to start coming up. I was a little bit nervous because of the frost, like Jamie said. The tips of our potatoes did get frostbite, but with the dahlias I kind of just earthed them up a little bit as well, so they were hopefully unscathed, but there's a few coming up.
You leave them?
Lots of weeds. Yeah, we left. Yeah, first year I dug them up, but a lot just went rotten. Partly my fault for leaving them in the wrong place, but although we have got a heavy clay soil, it's not too. It doesn't get too waterlogged. So, and I did mulch a lot this year, so hopefully they'll be all right. So, there's lots more at home, if not. Yeah.
Do you have a house or anything on the plot, or are you not allowed those either?
No. Yeah, that's another thing that I'd really love. So we're not allowed greenhouses. We can have like polycarbonate, but it can't be any bigger than 6x4. So it wasn't really worth investing. I've got a greenhouse at my mum's because our back garden at home is quite tiny. So I've commandeered some space at my mum's for the greenhouse.
6x4.
So yeah, it's just the cold frame down here.
Right.
Can I just butt in a second? I'm ever so sorry, Leanne. I've got to go.
No worries.
Teresa's got to have a horse put down in the next 20 minutes. So I've got to go.
I'm sorry.
Oh dear. Sorry, Dave.
Sorry, everybody.
So off you go. And yeah, I'm sorry to hear that, Jamie. It's not a nice thing. We've had that done as well, so it's never nice.
She's in bits.
Yeah.
I can't. She said go and do it. I said no, I can't.
No, you go. Send my love and everything, and take care.
Sorry, Mark.
All right, we'll plod on.
Oh, bless. That's a horrid thing to happen. Bless them.
Yeah. I thought I heard
yeah. We've got a little wildlife patch here. I'm going to plough on. So a little wildlife patch, and then look, this year this is our new patch, so it kind of connects the two up together. And we've not really done much with it. It's been dug over. We've kind of marked the paths out, put some strawberries in. It's been with the same person for probably 20 years, I would say.
Wow.
They've had this patch, so and they didn't want to give it up. It was very nice of them because we got one either side, and they're kind of a family friend. They did say, "Oh, I'm thinking about giving it up, but I don't want to give it up to anybody. Would you take it on?" And we're very lucky in our village, and that there's not a massive waiting list or anything. So yeah, we kind of just said, yeah, it makes sense to connect all three up. So yeah, so this means I can have lots of brassicas and pumpkins and all sorts going on this year.
Oh, that'll be fun. Pumpkins need lots of room, so
yeah,
I'll fill.
Yeah, so it's been a lot of work. I'm just waiting for a wood chip delivery because I'm a cheapskate and don't want to pay for it. So yeah, we'll do the parts and stuff on that soon, and hopefully get going on that. But that's very much a as and when it happens type of thing. So yeah, whistle stop tour of the plot and turn
got
around.
A lot of space.
There is, yeah. So the other two patches are probably about 12 by 8, something like that, which is lovely to have that amount of space. Steph, yeah, I've got loads of spare time, Steph, absolutely loads. I don't know what to do with it all.
Yeah, you're not doing anything else, are you?
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm going to walk down a little bit because we're right next to the road, so it is a little bit tricky to hear you guys. So I'm going to move along the allotment a little bit. And we're sandwiched. The allotment's like sandwiched between a road, which is in a village, but it is quite a busy road. And then the other side is our playing fields.
Oh, wow.
So we have a lot of football training and netball training and stuff. So yeah, sometimes a bit busy, but it is a lovely site.
Nice community feel.
Absolutely. And like I said earlier, it's lovely because we do have a lot of community days and everybody on site's really lovely. There's not anybody that you go, oh, run away.
Yeah, quick, hide in your shed.
Yeah.
I know you're not allowed to.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. So there's no choice.
And you're right on the entrance, so there's no hiding.
Yeah, that's hence the headphones. Sometimes I just had the headphones on for the sake of having the headphones on, but yeah, it's one of those things. It is lovely though. I moan about it a little bit sometimes, but it is wonderful, and the kids come down loads as well, and they're always welcome. So it's lovely that they feel part of the allotments too.
How far away from your house is it?
It's about a mile, give or take. We do have one in our actual village. So this is the village that I was born in. This is one here, where my mum and my grandparents and people live still. We moved out about a mile, not very far. And there is allotments more local to us, but it just makes it easier with childcare and things. And it's actually, I prefer this site anyway. So it's yeah, we like this one more. So I've walked down to this is our community cut flower patch. Walk down there.
Pretty cool.
Are you coming? I know you're working on Ben's Gardeners Wildlife Board. Are you excited?
Yeah, it's coming around quickly, isn't it? I mean, what is it now? 5
weeks.
Yes, it seemed
I
like when we first started talking about it, and now it's like, 5 weeks away. Everything that you've had, the Harrogate show last weekend, Chelsea's 2 weeks away.
Yeah.
This weekend.
Yeah. I know. Yeah, I'm in denial. I'm absolutely in denial. I don't believe that it's just 5 weeks, and I'm not prepared at all.
That's telling me off for talking. We've got to talk about it. Tell us about it, Leanne.
Oh, okay.
Planning, how's it going?
So yeah, it's going okay. I put my application in relatively early. I think the application is opened around October, November time. And so the story behind it is that I did sort of graphic design and art a lot at A levels. Both my sets of grandparents are really amazing gardeners. I'm very lucky that I've still got 3 out of 4 of my grandparents, so they're all in their 90s, which is amazing. And it got to the point that I was going around so many shows and having such an amazing time. I'm so nosy. So I was doing all the shows, and I was doing the National Garden Scheme and things, and I was just like, you know what, I'd really love just to pop down an idea on paper. And that's what I did. So I popped it down and thought, shall I, shan't I? And I think you've got to, at some points, just go, actually, I'm just going to give it a go and see what happens. I'd helped Lucy at She Grows Veg last year.
That was a fantastic garden. I loved
amazing. Yeah, absolutely amazing. I was very lucky that I had 3 days on that build with Lucy, and had so many sort of insights and tidbits, and kind of voiced a kind of desire to go down that route. And she was very supportive, and everybody working with her that was volunteering on her garden was kind of egging me on a little bit, I suppose, and that helped. And then I went to Hampton with Lee at Bearded Gardener, and didn't build with him, but I did a couple of days just on the garden when it was open, so talking to the public and things, and just got the vibe for it. Really, it was really lovely to have that whole sort of experience of the shows, and I think it's quite infectious. So a lot of people say that once you get the bug, you get the bug.
Yeah.
However, at this moment in time, I'm like, this is never happening again. This is a one-time thing. But yeah, it was a kind of now or never type of thing, and I think you've just got to take those opportunities, haven't you? So that was all good. Yeah, and the sharing your space thing, it came about with so the sharing your space is what the border titles are this year, and it's very broad. but it kind of linked really well with what I wanted to do. And I think Steph's on, bless her, but she'll probably agree that I think Steph and Ben and myself, as kind of newbies, first timers, we're very much drawn on our personal experience and our what we love to do. So
yes.
all very different things. And I really, really wanted to involve the children in the garden, but also have it as a piece of me. I didn't want it to be sort of too commercial or sort of glaringly obvious children, geared towards children, just elements of it that actually, as a mum,
Yeah.
I know that sort of my children would be able to go and play for a bit while I got on with the gardening.
Yeah.
But also had those crossovers that we could learn together and grow together. So like I did with my grandparents. So I suppose that's kind of how the sharing of the space came about. Yeah, that's it really, and hopefully comes together.
So what's been the most stressful part of it all?
For me, hindsight is a lovely, fabulous thing, isn't it? I went into it and I applied for it very naively, not knowing anything about funding, budgeting for it. So that's been interesting, because I was like, oh, they've said yes, and now I've got to find the money to actually build it. Which has been fine. It has been fine. So the garden after Gardeners World Live is going to get donated to 2 primary schools. I'm a primary school teacher. So it's going to 2 primary schools to help them set up gardening clubs and some allotments on their site. So that's lovely. So I did set up a GoFundMe page, which people have very kindly donated, and it's been lovely that lots of friends and family and the local community have done that. So that's helped me lots. But also the other thing is I hate asking people for things. I hate it. And one thing I've had to do is pull my big girl pants up and ask people for donations or to lend me things or to sponsor the garden. And at first it was a massive sort of, oh my God, they're going to say no. They're going to think, no, who are you? Off you go. But everybody has been truly amazing with their donations, their time, the hints and tips that they've given me has been invaluable, and it's been amazing. The Garden Gram community is fabulous, and the gardening community is fabulous, but it's a different thing when you're asking for things for a show garden. I think as a person that hadn't done a show garden, you would think that there was an endless budget for these types of things, and there really isn't. For a lot of the beautiful borders, it's personal to us. So so that's the main thing. It's budgeting and asking for things.
That's the one thing that stopped me from doing it. Just like, number one, the amount of stress, because I've got a 12-acre garden to manage as my day job. So to throw something like that on top of that, I don't think I'd cope as well as, not having any money and try and find the money.
Yeah. But people, I would say go for it though, because people are absolutely amazing, and there is always some people. You do get a lot of no's, and a lot of people just don't get back to you. That's the frustrating thing. Is some people just don't reply, and sometimes it's frustrating. I'd rather have a complete no than not
hard
no.
Email, is it? Just reply.
Yeah,
no.
yeah. But those are few and far between. The majority have got back and said yes or no, or these are the reasons, or try this person, and so there is so much, Seth, there is so much support out there for everybody, and I'm still asking people for things, and the majority of people are going, oh yeah, of course we would love to, and it's been truly amazing the amount of support that I've received. It's been brought me to tears, lots, which I'm sure lots of people will know. There's been lots of tears.
That doesn't surprise I'm sure there'll be even more tears on the day. The build,
yeah.
medal day.
I know that's the bit that I'm really looking forward to, is getting the actual garden built, and I know that's going to be really stressful. And the medal thing, one of my friends has just popped on, and she's helping all week with the garden, and she's been amazing. She's Joe. Hi, Joe. She's been my absolute rock, and she's going to be there as well. So I've already said to her, I am going to be in bits on the Wednesday. I'm so looking forward to getting the awards and judging over and done with. But on the Wednesday night, I'm really looking forward to it, just to have that release and know that that's done. And then have the show to look forward to. Is I know it's going to be hard for the 4 days that we're open to the public. But that's the bit I'm really looking forward to, is getting the message and talking to the public and getting the feedback from them. So
we've planned our tears.
Yeah. There's a there's a mound on in Gardeners World Live that is called Picnic Hill, and it's right in the middle. So we're all going to go up there with whatever alcohol we can get hold of, and probably cry and laugh and do whatever else we fancy after that stress.
I think it's brilliant though that so many garden grammars are going to be there doing borders, because I mean last year there was a couple, but this year it's like next level. There's like 6 people.
It's great.
So it's going to be such a great atmosphere, building it and everything. So who else is on your build team?
My hubby is a ground worker, so he's coming for a couple of days just to do the hard landscaping.
Are you going to get camera? Because he's you say on your he's very shy.
He absolutely hates it. So he will do everything. I will get a sneaky couple of pictures of him doing stuff. But I will say we work very differently. And sometimes that causes quite a few arguments. But he is amazing, don't get me wrong. He is, and bless him for agreeing to do it for me, because I would have had to find a landscaper and stuff to do all the rest, but he's agreed to do that. But there might be quite a bit of swearing coming from our end.
Noisy.
So we've got he might decide to leave that until he's not with people, and just but it's all good. He'll be amazing. He knows what he's got to do. He said as long as I give him a picture and point him in the right direction, he's fine. So that's all good. And then I've got some friends. My sister hopefully is coming to help as well. And then I've got a couple of people. Holly, a gardening with midwife, is coming, and Laura from Lottie is coming as well. But if anybody else, I'll put it out there now, if anybody else wants to volunteer, I haven't put anything else on Instagram, but if anybody does want to come for a couple of days or a day or half a day, then let me know, because it is a giggle, and I provide tea and coffee and biscuits and cake if you're really lucky. Not for you guys, that's only for my team, of course.
I was going to share.
What's Ben getting you?
Probably.
No. Chickens. Eggs. There we go. Eggs.
Eggs, maybe.
Yeah.
Water, maybe.
Yeah.
Get some water for yourself.
I know nothing's open though. This is the thing. When you're on build week, nothing in the NEC is open.
Yeah.
So you won't be able to go in the shops and stuff. That is it. You have to fend for yourself. Upcoming. Good old Steph, bless her.
I'll bring my Kelly kettle and I'll be able to make myself a cup of tea.
Love a good Kelly kettle.
Set stuff on fire.
Yeah.
So what do you get for people that haven't ever done a border or been to Gardeners World? What do you get when you turn up on the first day of the build? What is there? Is it really just the sleepers?
Yeah, sleepers, and we can ask for the border to be filled with the soil, or half filled, or not filled at all, and then you're pretty much on your own.
Wow.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. It's the first time I've done it properly, Mark. I just followed along last time.
Show me what to do, I'll do it.
Yeah, pretty much. And I'm going to be asking absolutely everybody, what comes next? What do I do? What do you think about this? But hopefully there'll be quite a few people of doing that. So, yeah.
What are they doing?
Yeah. I think we're going to have times that we're going to go down to the tent together. I see Kim and Steph are talking about tea and coffee and cake. I think we just have to have times that we all go down together and get tea, coffee and cake.
Yeah.
Oh,
I'm just hoping it's not
mega. Sorry, Mark.
I'm hoping it's not mega hot because Adam got sunstroke last year, didn't he?
No. Well, the last 2 years. Can you remember the first year that what was it, 2 years ago that we all went and met up? That was really hot as well. And we struggled to find the shade and stuff, didn't we? And then last year was really hot too. Yeah.
Apart from the last, absolutely threw it down.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I didn't stick around for the sell-off and stuff on last year. We legged it before the rain got too bad, but yeah. It is what it is. We'll take umbrellas, and if not, we'll just go and hide in the floral marquee.
Yeah, that's true. It's quite close by.
Yeah. Especially to my side. I'm like closest to it, so.
You've picked that well.
I know, I did.
Any extra flowers you need, just go and scoop them up, chuck them in.
Yeah. The sell-off last year was mental. All sell-offs are mental, but it is crazy. I'm quite lucky that I'm not going to do that because my plants and stuff are getting donated. So I will sit back and watch others be crazy.
Have people ripping plants out and running off with them.
Yeah. That posh lady's house. Oh, the sun. Yes. Yeah. Or a really big hat like it comes out really way too fast. Yeah. I do hope it's nice though. Yeah. Not rainy too much. We've done with that.
Just, a day like today would be fine. Nice.
Perfect.
Wind, bit of sunshine.
Yeah, absolutely.
More than happy.
Are you going to any other shows beforehand, Mark?
I don't think so. Not that I know of. Not that I've booked in yet. But we'll see.
Bewley this weekend, purely just to scope out others and pick their brains. So I've not been there to Bewley one before.
How far is that from you?
It's probably about 2.5 hours. Yeah, so I'm Northampton, which is pretty central to everywhere. So if I say 2.5 hours, it's to anywhere. It's usually a good guess. Quite lucky that way. So yeah, so we'll go down there and have a little nose.
It's 4 hours, so it's a bit far.
Yeah, it's a trek, isn't it?
Yeah, and trains are just awful. So yeah.
I don't know. So when we do the border at the NEC, I'm travelling home because we're not that far away. But I don't know who's staying over and stuff because it's that's a big chunk of things to consider as well, is what you're sort of where you're staying and like commuting and things. It's a lot to take on, really, that side of things. So
I think Ben's planning on driving back every night because he looked into hotels and was just like, it's ridiculous. Like, I'm going to spend on hotels.
I know. And I said to him, that is absolutely crazy because he's Bristol.
Yeah.
That's mental. I did say to him, I've got room. I haven't got a spare room. I said, but I've got a tent and a back garden. But he declined, I think.
I think he'll probably just sleep in a van or something now, Ben.
I know. He's going to be absolutely shattered doing that every day.
Yeah. I think he said it was about an hour and a half from his.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. Well,
so it's not too bad.
No.
Yeah.
No.
I'm
not too bad.
I'm helping him out on the Friday, staying over in a random hotel, and then helping him on the Saturday as well.
Okay.
He's
not.
I'm coming back. When?
So I think, does Ben get and Steph will know this about maybe, I don't know, Steph, actually I'm talking for you and I'm really sorry. So when you guys start in your bill, because we start the borders start on the Saturday before But Ben's got swanky, hasn't he? He's got a showcase garden now. So when does he start his?
Yeah, he said Friday is his first day. So yeah, we're going on the Friday and just get like the big trees in and stuff like that to start with.
Yeah.
And then I think Saturday will start to kick off.
have everybody descend on Saturday.
I'll wait for Kelly to turn up. Kelly will just be telling everybody what to do, won't she? Like she does.
That's what you need, though. Somebody managing it all. I'm so indecisive, so that's why my friend Jo, bless her, is very good for me, because she's very like, no, get it done, and very organised. Whereas I'm sort of, yeah, it'll happen, it's fine.
Have you done a trial run or anything, or is it literally just doing it, waiting until the?
I marked it out at the plot, and then it rained. And then it bossy, yeah, just bossy. So yeah, I marked it out of the plot, but it was very sort of sketchy. It wasn't precise at all, and because I'm not growing any of my own as such. I have got a few bits I've grown with the children at school, because that was quite important to me that I had their involvement. So there's some sweet peas and things like that we've grown, that will shoehorn in there. And if I get marked down then for quality, then I shall be really sad, because it was for the children. That's what I'm going to say.
Take that out there. Come on, look. The kids grew them. If you mark it,
I will.
You're going to make it.
Yeah, don't you dare mark me down on the quality of those sweet peas, because that's the children's work. Yeah, they were. I'm not growing my own. I've very kindly got gifted some from quite a few plant nurseries, and also just buying some as well from some local nurseries as well. So it was important that I used small family businesses. But I've 5 weeks is not long, so I've got to now start going to collect those and care for them very carefully. Yeah, so that's the worry, is trying to get everything ready for 5 weeks time and be perfect for 5 weeks time, whereas
so
in gardens it's not.
And then take them down to Birmingham yourself. It's not
Yeah, so the plan is, I'm going to sit down on here now. So the plan is we're the other half's going to take all the heavy big stuff, all the trees and stuff, in his van, which I'm very lucky that we've got the loan of, and then I'm going to do, because I'm coming backwards and forwards for the build, I should just, and I've got a estate car and stuff, so I'll just pile those in a couple of days, because I think it's going to take a couple of days to get the hard landscaping and stuff done, so it's months away.
Yes. It's not 5 weeks, Steph, honestly, promise.
No, not 5 weeks at all. It's more like 5 months.
You need that what is it, Bernard's watch, so you can just pause it.
No, I'm terrible. I think I talked to Bet. Honestly, I'm head in the sand, and I haven't sent hardly anything off. I know Steph's been in sort of nudging Ben, and then he was like, "Oh, I had to do this," and I'm like, "Oh, well, I've done mine, but I've not sent it in." And it's all a bit haphazard. There's lots of deadlines and stuff that I've missed, and people have reminded me, and all sorts going on.
About a risk assessment that you had to do the other day.
Yeah, I've done mine. Not sent it off yet. That was a couple of days ago that I was meant to be in. But they're busy with Bewley this week, so it's all good. And if they wanted it, they'd remind me. But that's the only thing I've been late on. I haven't been late on anything else. And Jo's now going to moan at me because I've admitted that, and she'll be like, "You didn't tell me that."
Get it done.
It's done. It's just not sent off, and yeah, they haven't asked for it, so it was all good. I'll put you into shape tomorrow. Yeah, sorry, Jo. Yeah, I've got a project manager as well, which has all been good. So I'm moving again because the road's really noisy. Yeah. Yeah, all fun.
Get into gardening? What what was your origin in gardening? Have you always been a gardener, or is it something came to you?
I suppose it's much similar to quite a few other people. My grandparents were very into gardening, both sets of them. One's always had sort of a allotment at the back of his garden, still going at 94, planting his potatoes and his runner beans. That's what is usually. He won't stop, bless him, even though I keep on offering to do it for him.
There's some gardening.
Yeah, exactly. There we go. Yeah, if that's not an advertisement for it, then I don't know what it is at 94. And then my other set of grandparents were very much, they bought their house that they ended up living in for years and years and years, and my grandfather passed away in January, so he was living at home still. So we've just sort of gone back to the garden, although he had dementia, bless him, so he couldn't really do much in the garden, but they moved to that house purely because of the garden. The house was kind of nice and cottagey, but the garden was the reason why they moved there. So they were very keen gardeners. And in the 90s, way back when the dried flower phase was going on, they used to grow all their own statice and straw flowers, and I remember going around and having to hot glue gun and thread the dry flowers, and they'd go around to all the country fairs and sell the dry flower arrangements back in the 90s with all the baskets and stuff. So not quite the dry flowers that we have nowadays, but yeah, still a good memory. So yeah, I think it's in the blood really. I didn't do it for a long time, but then I think lockdown came, and much like everybody else, we had a new build garden which was very small, and it was just grass, and had time on my hands, so then started dabbling in that, and then fell back in love with it really. So yeah, did bits and pieces with my grandparents all through, but not really seriously until lockdown, and then the allotment came in 2021 as well.
Oh, wow.
And then it's just gone mental.
Yep, it's addictive once you start.
It is, yeah. I've always been interested in it from a sort of school's garden angle, because at school I kind of specialise. I teach little ones, but I did forest school training and things like that. So I've always been really into sort of getting children outside, learning the curriculum outside, and forest schools and schools gardens, and that's hopefully what we're going to sort of focus on after the border. That's my main focus after the border, is to getting that set up and running. But yeah, that's been a sort of ongoing passion for the last sort of 10 years or so. So yeah, it's just taking that step forward and trying to instill a love of gardening or a love of nature and outside into the next generation really.
Hard work. What I'm interested in is YouTube and iPads and screens.
Yeah, but it's surprising, honestly. You get them out there, and they soon realise what fun it is. And I think it's just because I'm quite passionate about it, and hopefully they can see that through my actions. Then hopefully it transfers into at least some of them. Obviously, that I'm not expecting that they're all going to go and be the next Monty Don, but even if they can grow some lettuce or cucumbers or tomatoes or a sunflower, that would be great. So
it really needs to be on the curriculum, or at least just a part of every school, because there are kids that will get so much benefit from it.
Yeah, absolutely. And I was saying the other day to a friend, another teacher, I don't think there's anything else that you can actually tick on the curriculum that gardening links to every part of the curriculum. It links to history. You could do garden history or garden sort of through the ages or anything like that. It obviously links to science, but DT, growing things that you can make into your musical instruments, or being outside, and it just links to everything. It's sort of physical, mental well-being, So you can get it into absolutely every part of the curriculum quite easily, and it not be a sort of tack on the sort of a sideline or an extra that you need to kind of shoehorn in there somewhere. So yeah, I'm sure, I know Lee's doing an amazing job with all the work that he's doing, but it is a hard slog, and everybody has their own sort of passion. That's a really kind of tricky thing to balance. A lot of teachers will have different loves of what they like. So some people love history and they'll fight for their bit. Some people love music and they'll fight for their little corner of that. But yeah, it's got to be a sort of well-rounded thing. But I love gardening, and I think that should be it. I think gardening's got to be the main top priority for me anyway.
Well, it's got to be driven by a member of staff that's interested in it, otherwise it just doesn't happen. Because at George's school there's a greenhouse and stuff, but it's all overgrown. Nobody does that sort of thing, and there's loads of kids that take so much from it. I mean, when I was at primary school, we had like a little gardening school that we went to like after school once a week or something, and that was probably the first time that I was properly gardening, independently of family. So it just shows it really does help people get have that love of it. And we,
yeah,
thing was,
definitely
David Bellamy.
Love David Bellamy, bless him.
He was a huge man.
Yeah. I don't know the solution to it. We just can keep on trying as best we can and doing our little. If I can make a difference to a couple of children throughout my teaching career in terms of getting them into horticulture or gardening, or even just growing their own veg for themselves, then that'll be amazing.
Yeah. The sad thing is how sort of poorly paid gardeners are. It puts so many people off. I was listening to a podcast earlier with Alan Titchmarsh on it, and he was saying there's so many people that just are so turned off by the wages that they pay. Like, how do they expect people to go into it? And it's such a shame, because it's part of the fabric of Britain. Like, gardening is so British. I think that's probably one of the first things that anybody from around the world will say about Britain. Like, it'll be the gardens, and we're almost losing that because so many people don't get into it anymore.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's so unbelievably skilled, and so much knowledge that is with that. It is really, really sad that it's not valued more. And I know there's sort of the people that retrain tend to be sort of slightly older, that have had a career and maybe have got the sort of funding back, or slightly more sort of savings or whatever else behind them to be able to make that leap. But it shouldn't be the case that you get to that point and then find gardening and then are able to retrain. It should be that everybody's able to find it at whatever stage they're at, whether they've had a career first and going into it, or whether it is straight out of school, or I don't know. When I was coming out of school at sixth form, I don't ever remember anybody saying to me about going into horticulture as a career. That was something that we probably didn't hear about too much, which is sad, because I think there's, hopefully now it's changed slightly, or changing. But yeah, I think I would, if I could have gone back to have my time again. If somebody had said to me, right, okay, you can use your art skills and use your graphic design and things like that, and you could go and do garden design, I would have been straight on it. But it wasn't. It was always sort of, oh, you can go and do architecture, and I really didn't want to do that. I didn't want to do that side of things. And so yeah, it's slowly, but it is tricky. It's not valued enough, and it's not paid well enough.
And even just like, I remember when I was at school and sort of asking and saying I wanted to be a gardener, because I knew I wanted to be a gardener from a young age. And I remember the careers advice person saying, oh, you need to study business studies. Like, okay, so I did that. And then after school, it was just like, well, now what? So I actually went and I rang up a load of local gardeners and went round and saw them and said, how do I, what do I need to do? And they were like, oh, you need to go to study horticulture. And I was like, oh, Why has nobody told me that?
Yeah.
Like,
What
Yeah.
and I've been saying it for years that I wanted to do it, and nobody even mentioned that studying horticulture was even a thing.
No. And just think there's probably so many more Marcs out there that haven't taken the initiative to go and have those conversations. So they've missed that point and missed that chance when they could have had it if it was more readily sort of talked about and available. Yeah.
And it's not even just being a gardener in an estate. There's so much stuff you can do in horticulture. I mean, opening my eyes onto the garden gram world and seeing how many different people there are about that are doing, you know, being involved in plants but aren't actually gardening, and they've got this fantastic career out of it. Amazing.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. It needs to be more high profile, I think, and more talked about. And yeah, like you say, the links across the board need to be sort of explained to people a lot more, because like you say, there are so many avenues that you can go to, and not just working in a nursery or being a gardener on an estate or running your nursery. There's so much more. But yeah, just don't know unless you know.
So you're doing an RHS qualification at the moment, aren't you?
Well, we say doing. I'm enrolled on a course, Marc.
Right.
I'm not actively studying for it at the moment, I must admit. So I enrolled on an online course.
Yeah.
Which possibly was the wrong choice for me, hindsight again. But at the time I was really excited about it, and I have loved doing it. I haven't other things have taken over slightly, and it is still something that I really want to achieve. But however, I don't think it's the be all and end all of things. And as much as I love reading, it's not the way that my brain necessarily works anymore. And so I think what I need to possibly do is carry on with the study online, which is on, I say online, it's not, it's reading a lot of textbooks and things like that. It's not very interactive, which is what I'm missing slightly. But I think was it Tasmin a couple of weeks ago said about volunteering and getting experience that way. So I'm still studying, but I think I need to maybe do a little bit more volunteering and putting it into practice to cement it slightly. The exams scare me as well, so I'm procrastinating lots on those and taking those. And I'm sure it's great for some people, but it's just not the way that I particularly like learning anymore. Possibly when I was younger I would have been fine with it, but now I need to get things done and do it to remember it.
And we've all just seen your wonderful allotment, so you're clearly a gardener. You know what you're doing.
Wow.
And
Plug plants are amazing things, Marc. You know, there's no shame in the plug plant game.
Gardening, you know, that's like going and picking up a baby from a nursery. You know, bringing it on to teenage years.
Yeah. Oh, there we go. That's perfect analogy on that one. Brilliant. No, this year I tell you what, my seedlings this year have been shocking. I don't know what it is, whether it's the rain, the lack of sunlight. They've been so slow to get going.
I think it's been wet. There's not been enough sunlight. Everything has been really slow, but then in the last sort of week or so things are really starting to kick off. So I think yeah, it's just greyness.
Yeah. I'm hoping now this might be the turn. But it's like that. It's like the chicken and egg, isn't it? It's like, is it going to be a frost? Are we going to put it out? What do we need to do? So at some point, just going to have to bite the bullet and do it, and get stuff in the ground and wish them luck.
Well, Jamie was saying before he left that their last frost date where he is tonight, and I'm pretty sure in Lincolnshire our last frost date isn't until June sometimes.
Really?
It's really,
Yeah.
I've planted all my squash out before, and literally the night after they've got frosted, and that was like really late, like June time.
Yeah.
So I think it's always that worry.
I think ours is mid-May, from what I can remember. Yeah, Steph, yours is probably mid-May.
Yeah,
mid-May time
for me.
Yeah, but need the space. What was Kim saying? Yeah, end of May. I think Jamie's got it wrong, maybe.
Who said Jamie's talking rubbish? Last frost date is 3 weeks.
Oh, there we go. It was wishful thinking, maybe. Wishful thinking.
Yeah, mid-May, Nottingham. Yeah, I'm pretty sure ours is like near June, near the beginning of June. And I'd always, not risk it if you were putting loads out until at least a week after that as well. Because you never suddenly get that last frost.
Yeah.
And if you can't get out there and cover stuff up, I mean, now, you've been looking after those plants for 2 or 3 months and you've gone and put them out and boom, they're gone.
Yeah. You covered all yours up, didn't you, at work?
I did, yeah. But, it was on the Thursday night, it was cold. And then, obviously, I'm not there Saturday, Sunday, so I didn't want to fleece everything and then leave it all weekend. And it got down to 1.2, so it was all fine.
Yeah.
So, fingers crossed we won't get anything too much. But, I mean, it's good for the garlic if it gets frosty, because we haven't had that many frosts this year.
No, and I put mine in. I did mine in trays in the greenhouse, and then I think that they must have just rotted off. So I've got 2 lots of elephant garlic in the actual allotment, and that's it for the garlic.
Oh wow!
Bad times.
But... Yeah, some of mine rotted. To be fair, I've done all mine in buckets because obviously my veg garden was completely flooded when it was garlic planting time. So I just put buckets so that I could move it to higher ground.
Oh, goodness!
It's done all right actually. Just hope it's avoided the leaf miner because I've had that.
Yeah, that's the other problem. Yeah, we do get a lot. I got leaf miner last year, I think it was. So that's in a different bed. But we have like flea beetles is a big problem as well. So I'd love to have to do pesto with radish tops or beetroot for salads and things, but beetroot leaf for salads and things. But they just it just looks manky.
They do the same to mine. Beetroots everywhere. So annoying. Apparently the only way to stop getting on there is to fleece the top of it and just leave the fleece on.
Yeah.
Which
it's so annoying.
Fine at this time of year, but you don't really want to be doing that when it's warm.
No, exactly. Yeah. Have you started work on your veg garden? Seemed like you'd been doing bits and pieces.
Not anything major, so I've taken out 2 of the beds in the middle so far, and I've started digging out the dead raspberries the other day because that'll all get raised up. I've moved 2 beds to an area that is higher, so they're moving. So that's where I've put all my onions, and obviously the asparagus bed I'm not going to be able to raise at all, so that'll just be ground level by the time the ground level's all been raised. But I'm just waiting for the ground to dry out so we can get the digger in, because limbo until that point. And we were getting there Sunday, and then we had all that rain on Sunday and there was massive puddles everywhere again. It's
just never ending, isn't it?
It's going to be a big digger coming in, so you don't want to absolutely knock the ground by getting it in too early. So it might just be this year as a write-off, to be honest. And then if it's done and it's sorted for winter, at least I know that it's sorted for next year. That obviously last week we had Gemma on, who's got all of her cut flowers in crates. I did think about getting crates and just putting them, and then if we do get the digger in, I can just pick them up and take them further down the garden.
Yeah, that's true.
Because I think that's the only way to do it this year, because otherwise, if I get stuff in and we get the digger, I'll end up wrecking it all anyway. So yeah. I mean, what Gemma does with hers is amazing. So
So yeah, nick that.
Yeah, and it's only like a no dig bed, isn't it? You don't need that much depth of soil for stuff that's at the top. So, you know, and
Yeah.
your carrots in boxes, so you could do carrots in stuff that you could move. So we'll figure out a way.
Yeah.
It might not be as productive as usual, but we'll try our best.
Yeah.
And then hopefully
I think
it'll be sorted.
Yeah. It's quite nice sometimes just to scale things back a little bit as well. I mean, we've got to the point of growth. I will eat pretty much everything, but my other half and my children are a little bit more fussy. So I love to try and grow absolutely everything, but you get to the point of like you're just trying some things for the sake of trying some things. And I love like the snake bean things because that's weird and wonderful and it's something that we've not done before. But sometimes I'm just like, I'm just growing these for the sake of filling the space up, and half of it goes to waste. So sometimes it's quite nice just to scale back and concentrate on the things that you actually love.
Have you actually managed to get any snake beans germinated?
I have. I was quite late. I didn't put mine in until probably 2 weeks ago.
Wow.
And I only put in 4 and I've got 3 up. So I didn't think that was
I've got
too bad.
none of mine have grown. I think I did them too early, to be honest.
Yeah, I didn't do. Did I soak? I soaked them. I didn't file them or anything. I just soaked them for a little while and then stuck them straight in. Because at that point I was just like, if I don't do them now, I'm not going to get them done. So, but yeah, 3 out of the 4 have come up. So that'll be interesting to see what they're like.
I think that'd be cool.
Well,
you managed to do, that's quite similar, isn't it? It's a similar type of plant. I've got some of that growing, so I can do that one, but not the snake bean.
Some of mine that I can't get going. I don't know about you. This year, my scabious have not grown at all. I don't know what it is.
What variety?
The ping pong.
Scabious.
Ping pongs have not come up at all.
Oh wow! Yeah. Last year I didn't get any of those, but this year, because I sent a load of Ben of my seeds, and he managed to grow them, and I didn't get any. But this year I've got some.
Hey! Oh, well done. Yeah, I've got one, and I'm clinging on to that with dear life because I love that. So yeah, it swings and roundabouts, isn't it? Is there something that you always struggle with?
Cosmos.
Yeah.
Never managed to grow cosmos. Well, it will grow, but it seems to just sit there. It'll get to that stage, and then sit there, and then it will grow a bit more, and then I'll have plants that are like nearly 4 foot tall with no flowers on them, and I'm like, where are my flowers?
Oh.
Start flowering in like September, and then it will get frosted. Everybody else is always, oh my cosmos.
I would love some more seed, please. Thank you very much. Thank you. Sorry. Yeah. You know what, Cosmos? I was all right with it last year. Follow it the previous year. Again, mine was all leaves and no flowers. So. Yeah, Joe's done some Cosmos. I've seen Joe's Cosmos.
I've got germinated, so hopefully I'll get it this year. But yeah.
Mine have gone a bit leggy, but that's because I took the eye off the ball. Yeah, I think I've done more flowers this year than I have veg actually at the moment. I've got a lot to catch up on the veg side.
Yes, I'm the same. I don't think I've got any vegetables in my greenhouse here. I've got veg at work, but everything in here is flowers. Because I'm just like, my garden down there doesn't flood, so
yeah,
flowers. Yeah. If that'll make me happy. So if the veg garden work at work, I'll just grow it all at work this year.
So your veg garden at work today is that just for the family, or what happens with that?
Well, originally they were supposed to do it all, and it was supposed to be nothing to do with us. We didn't weed it. We didn't do anything. And then obviously my boss was always like, "Can you go and weed the veg garden?" And then it would be like, "Yeah," and it'll take 2 days because it hasn't been weeded for 3 months. The point where I just went, do you want me to do the veg garden? Because it'll actually take me less time because I'll keep it clear of weeds and it won't get really full of weeds all the time. And then I'll plant for you and you can just go and pick them. They're not that bothered, to be honest. More of a you know, a novelty thing every now and again. They'll go and do it. But yeah, but you know, for me, it's quite good this year because I'll just take it over and grow everything. And if they don't want it, I'll bring it home.
Yeah, bonus for you guys. Yeah, exactly. Have you got any more help on the horizon at work, or is it just you still and your new mower?
Yeah, just me at the moment. Nobody helping. We've got a designer coming in helping us, so hopefully there is help on the horizon. But what form that help is in, I don't know yet. Hopefully we'll come to a system which is amazing, and the garden will get simplified, and it will start to look its best again, because it's quite demoralising seeing it going backwards. Obviously I've been 12 years now, and when I first started it was coming towards the end of the planting of it, because it was completely new build garden, completely landscaped from scratch. So although it's maturing now, so there's trees and shrubs and stuff that are all looking really fabulous, like the perennial side of it hasn't had the maintenance it requires, so that's going downhill.
Yeah.
So we'll scale it back and try and make it work with less maintenance, because I think it was over ambitious. The designer did it so over ambitious, and I don't think there was ever the conversation of how many gardeners are you going to have.
Yeah, probably not. You
know, they might have done things differently, because I think, to be honest, what it was designed for was about 4 gardeners, and there's only ever been 2. So
yeah, Kim and Steph have both beat me to it, because I was going to say I'll be there after the border giving you a hand. There we go. Look, there's 3 of us already.
Awesome. Like the sound of that.
There you go.
More welcome, more the merrier. I've had one person come and help, which was Claire, and she was fabulous to have her there for the day.
Singing,
very nice.
Singing to you.
Singing,
dancing.
moaning, enough tea. I think she had a good day.
Oh, she's a good one, bless her.
Right, it's 8:45. I think I've taken up enough of your time.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for coming on. Sorry for the chaos of the boys.
Oh, don't worry.
Life does get in the way now and again.
Yeah, don't worry. And I will look forward to seeing you in 5 weeks' time.
Oh, and my mum and dad, my mum's just come up there and said they've been to help. So yes, my mum and dad definitely help.
Yeah, don't forget them.
Cold today. So thank you very much, mum and dad.
Yeah, good. Oh, it's been lovely. Thank you ever so much.
See you soon. Hope.
Bye.
Go slowly.
Yeah.
Night, everyone.
Bye.
See you later. I'll not hang around and talk to myself, as the other 2 aren't here to have a bit of a debrief. I'll just say good night. See you next week. Hopefully the other boys will be back and all is well. Thanks, everyone. See you later.
Thank you for listening to Through the Garden Gate.